covering the summer promotion for the NA League Championship Series. I'm Lindsay Geektr0n, and this is the league's direction in review. The bottom 4 North American LCS teams faced their fate this weekend as amateur teams Quantic, Velocity, Summon, and Azure Caps made their attempts at going pro. Tensions reaching an all-time high with everything on the line for the LCS titles. Day 1 kicked off with Complexity having a rough morning when pitted against Team Quantic. After nearly losing the qualifications for the first half of LCS, Quantic showed up looking indomitable in Game 1, easily robbing control from Crawley's Twisted Fate pressure by cancelling out any attempts at getting ahead with unbeatable Shen counter teleports. Game 2 saw Quantic take it to another level, pulling out an unexpected AD carry Jace to score an unbelievable 4-minute 30-second dragon kill. By 20 minutes, Quantic had pulled ahead by almost 10,000 gold, giving them another easy win for Game 2 of the series. Quantic's jungler Meteos led the charge into the final game of the series, flaunting the bragging rights of not giving up a single kill this entire weekend of LCS. An early kill for Complexity turned into a brutal 3-for-1 trade in favor of Quantic, setting an early advantage that Complexity found themselves unable to work through. An 18-minute ace left Quantic open to take an impressive series sweep against Complexity in a matchup with no games lasting longer than a harsh 28 minutes, making Quantic Gaming the first new team to enter LCS for the summer promotion. Complexity had recently developed a large fan base in the League community, by and large due to the stage presence brought in from their amicable new mid laner Prolly. While it is unsure whether Complexity will be trying to make a comeback for Season 4, we can rest assured that Prolly will find himself back on the scene as soon as possible, whether it be playing professionally or shoutcasting for LCS. The second series of the day had classic underdog and crowd-pleasing Marn struggling in a wacky 5-game brawl against Prolly's old team, Velocity. The Shockers started out immediately as MegaZero, crowned just last week as champion of the Best Driven NA tournament, offered up an uninspiring 1-for-5 KD on his LCS Ribbon play, leaving his team in a vulnerable position. Intanso kicked it into overdrive though, picking up the slack with a stunning 9-1 twist game, capitalizing on a Velocity scattering under the pressure of Ribbon, Shen, and Ahri, driving hard on their backline. Marn was able to shut down Velocity through their Baron buff and take a bloody first win of the series. Velocity came back ready to show their LCS level of gameplay, baiting the Intanso into taking late-game Tristana and then building a wild push comp centered around a jungling blue item Ezreal and AP Janna mid, ramming a wrecking ball through solo queue for weeks to come. The game ended before Tristana could get enough items to stop the onslaught, suffocating Marn out of Game 2. Keeping on track with the meta-cracking picks and strats, Niantanso putted into Game 3 with Corki, as Velocity Vile Rose took Rumble to the mid lane. After gruesome all-or-nothing battles swinging first in favor of Marn and then back to Velocity, Niantanso Valkyried into the Velocity Nexus as they stormed up mid lane, robbing a shell-shocked Velocity of their second win with an epic backdoor. Velocity fell back on their victorious push comp to take a harsh 5 towers to Marn's 1 by 20 minutes, giving 4k gold lead despite having a negative team KD. Trying to recover from their shattered map control, Marn took the bait too hard as they tried to collapse on NK Inc.'s Shen, instead giving an uncontested Baron to Velocity along with any chance at a comeback, tying the series and sending it to Game 5. Velocity rode their momentum hard, gaining an early 2k gold advantage as their top laner Chris made all the plays on Elise, turning a free kill into a 3-for-1 trade. Velocity took their high-end lead to the Baron pit, barely managing to turn around the fight to take both the buff and 2 kills off Marn, granting Velocity too early a win for Niantanso's Kog'Maw to have any impact on the game, giving Velocity Marn's seat for the summer promotion. After their first appearance at MLG Anaheim, Marn has been one of the top teams in terms of community support. Their quirky feel and good guy attitude made them an invaluable addition to the League of Legends scene, and it's heartbreaking to see that this team has disbanded following their failure to re-enter LCS. The interviews following their matches illustrate, however, that Marn's top players are far from done with their pro careers. Eager to find themselves on new teams and ready to continue climbing the solo queue ladder, we fully expect to be hearing about big plays coming from Niantanso, Echo, and Mega Hero before the season is out. Day 2 started off with veteran team Dignitas bloodying Team Summon for a high-tension first game. Early objectives set the tone for Dig, barely keeping them level on gold even through a 4-kill deficit. Skara came back with mean Evelynn plays, synergizing out of control with Patoy's Sona ult and giving Dignitas a terror team fight that became unbeatable once a gold lead was established. Dignitas tried to ride the energy of their narrow win into Game 2 with a late invade, but found a rather heavily occupied enemy blue bush, giving first blood an early Tear of the Goddess to Team Summon's mid laner, Captain Korea. Captain continued to plot the course of the game as he took all 5 of Summon's kills by the 15-minute mark. With their simply rude ability to shred through Baron between the brothers and hypercarry Karthus, Summon took a convincing win to put the teams 1-for-1 leading into Game 3. Riding a Karthus ban, Dignitas kicked into the match with wicked speedball maneuvers, utilizing the Jace gateway to have uncommon pick Rammus reach ludicrous speeds. Now, I ain't calling it cheese, but Crumbs may have been pushing it by ganking top, buying home guard mobility boots, and achieving another successful gank roughly 3 seconds later. You ain't going nowhere, son. Where you going? Nowhere. Summon left open Skara's Diana to be picked in Game 4, immediately showing itself as a Mundo-sized mistake. After a terrifying turnaround at blue buff, Skara put on his big boy backpack, flashing into the enemy team and catching 4 of Summon's players in his epic engage. Even though Summon had an unbelievable teamfight-based comp, superior positioning and better experienced plays from Dignitas showed clearly in this matchup that they deserve their seat as an LCS team coming out of the summer promotion. The last LCS spot came down to Counterlogic Gaming versus their ex-mid laner Big Fat LP's team, Azure Cats. Game 1 was centered around the return of Hotshot Italy GG and CLG's objective-focused team comp. While the game started fairly evenly, a team fight going 3-0 plus Dragon swung the gold lead in CLG's corner. The following team fight also went the way of CLG as Link landed a 3-man shockwave, decimating Azure Cats, giving CLG Baron and the easy push to win. Game 2 was a complete shift from the previous game as CLG forced fights early and often with Afromu's pinpoint blitz hooks. Not only did they grab first blood on a level 1 invade, but also CLG took a page out of Gambit Gaming's book as they occupied more of Azure's jungle than their own. Hotshot continued his split-pushing ways and CLG was able to win a 4v4 fight in the top lane that allowed them to get Baron. After the Baron, CLG continued to split-push bot and top, completely cornering Azure in their own base as they won a final team fight to go up 2-0. In Game 3, Counterlogic carried over their momentum from the last game as another invade led to first blood once again. From there, it was all CLG all the time as a combination of Taric, Urgot, and Elise dived 2 members of Azure Cats on their second tower only 5 minutes into the game. As the game went on, CLG steadily increased their gold lead, capping it off with a 3-0 exchange plus Baron, allowing for the final pushdown of mid, giving them back their seat in the LCS. The spring split and the summer promotion have illustrated fully the depths of the North American talent in the League of Legends, forcing these teams to constantly evolve their strategies and for the players to extend to never-before-seen levels of play. Old favorites like Dignitas and CLG have been forced to take a backseat, while Marn and Complexity have been shut completely out of the league. Veteran dogs and young bloods come together from GGU to Quantic to TSM, ready to fight tooth and nail for championship titles, and only one thing is for sure. The spring half of Season 3 has set the tone for what is becoming the greatest championship series to hit the eSports community. Reporting on LCS and the evolutions of League every step of the way, I'm Lindsay Geektr0n, and this has been your summer promotion TLDR.